Human rights lawyer Bhavani Fonseka. Welcome to the program, Bhavani. A fast-moving situation in Sri Lanka at the moment, particularly the capital. Let's start with the president's whereabouts. He's fled to the Maldives and now he's reportedly in Singapore. What is the president fleeing exactly? Because I understand that the president does hold immunity should he return to Sri Lanka.
Exactly. So the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, as long as he remains the executive president, has immunity that carries with the office. So he can go to any country and not fear the prospect of prosecutions. Even in Sri Lanka, he does face immunity, but the situation in Sri Lanka is extremely volatile and the anger towards the president is increasing by the day. So his leaving the country doesn't come as a huge surprise, but the way it was done is what surprised many, because he did promise a resignation on Wednesday, but he left a couple of hours before that and was last seen in Maldives, and now reports indicate he is on his way to Singapore. So there is a lot of questions in terms of his the powers and the immunities that carry with the office, and as soon as if he does resign, he won't have these powers and immunities.
That's right, and obviously protesters are waiting for that official resignation from the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. We understand that Rajapaksa handed over his powers to his then Prime Minister, Rick Ramasinghe. What do you understand the legal situation behind that is? Is Rick Ramasinghe indeed the acting president from a legal point of view?
Well, the president did not indicate when he departed that there was an acting president. So for several hours, there was no information whatsoever that there was an appointment made. A couple of hours yesterday in the late morning, when the protests were happening outside the Prime Minister's office, there was a sudden announcement from the Prime Minister's office that he was going to declare, he was going to be acting president, and he was declaring a state of emergency. Now, many of us looked at the legal provisions, and a prime minister doesn't have the power to declare a state of emergency. The state of emergency can only be declared by the president. So there was a lot of information that confused people as to what powers the Prime Minister, Wickremesinghe, was exercising. When these questions were raised, there was then a couple hours later the president announcing that he had actually appointed the Prime Minister as acting president. So there are a lot of questions in terms of the legality of many of the measures taken, and this is still a very gray area. But the acting president / prime minister continues to exercise those powers. So there's a lot of things, that a very dynamic situation and a lot of questions as we speak in Sri Lanka.
It sure is, and we'll be keeping a close eye on those developments. For now, Bhavani Fonseka, thank you very much for joining us on the program.